Even as the coronavirus is keeping much of America at home, some churchgoers in Louisiana defied their governor's stay-at-home orders on Sunday.
I'm not scared of this virus. When it's my time, it's my time. Life goes on.
Louisiana is one of the states with the highest virus death tolls. However, hundreds of worshipers still came to services at Life Tabernacle Church just outside Baton Rouge. Many came in buses sent to pick them up. Pastor Tony Spell was already arrested the week before for holding services. He preached on Sunday that, quote, "There's nothing to fear but fear itself."
They count on us. That's why we don't close our doors. God bless America.
Joe Long, a lawyer and spokesman for Spell, is preparing a lawsuit against Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards for his stay-at-home order.
Both the federal constitution and the state constitution protect our right of free exercise and our right to peacefully assemble for that purpose.
Spell says his churchgoers would rather come to church than, quote, live like prisoners in their homes. But not all Louisiana residents agree with his message.
You take all these buses and go to another parish and bringing in people. Well, they could be bringing in people who has the virus.
While many churches are finding an alternative way to celebrate Easter, Pastor Tony Spell of Life Tabernacle Church out in Central has continued services.
Our local leader is now saying his attendance numbers may be misleading. NBC Local 33's Abby Rocha tonight with that.
In text messages, Pastor Tony Spell claims more than 1,000 people have attended at his services in the past few weeks. Now, local leaders say documentation may prove otherwise. Mayor President Sharon Weston Broom doubts that thousands have gathered in Spell's church.
I do think the numbers have been exaggerated, but the truth of the matter is that that is the congregants, the people who attend church there, should now know the severity of what we're dealing with.
Broom calling the pastor's actions irresponsible. Central Police Chief Roger Corcoran was on scene documenting Spell's Easter morning service. He counted around 330 in attendance, a far lower number than the 2,000 people Spell expected. Protester Trey Bennett says he understands Pastor Spell's rights, but does not excuse his actions during a pandemic.
I think that gathering in this large of a group and it's just incubating coronavirus, and these people are coming from 5 parishes. I know people that live near me that come to this place, and I don't want to get coronavirus. I know people have the right to assemble and normally the freedom of religion, but right now it's imperative that we don't.
Bennett has one wish for Pastor Spell.
The only other thing I'd say to him is I hope he has a bad day in court.
Abby Rocha, NBC Local 33 News.
Abby, thank you. In the meantime, Spell's services are being documented and turned over to East Baton Rouge Parish District Attorney Office, his office, Hill or Moore, as that investigation continues.
You're not worried about the virus?
No, I'm not. I have no reason to be.
And you guys won't get the virus because of your beliefs?
Yes.
No, I won't get the virus because Jesus says I'm not.
If you got God inside of you, you have nothing to worry about. You're good.
I moved here from Texas for this church, so it's definitely essential in my life.
We are continuing to have services with some restrictions.
We have told our older parishioners and our parishioners that have pre-existing conditions to stay home. We take everyone's temperature when they come through the doors. We have people use hand sanitizer often. We have refrained from handshaking and hugging until after this pandemic is over. We're maintaining 6 feet.
They would rather come to church and worship like free people than they had lived like prisoners in their homes for 22 days now. Could it be that the depression and the anxiety and the emotion problems that we're facing right now, clinical problems that is being brought on by this virus, could it be that it is worse than the people who have already contracted this virus and died?
I think it's utterly ridiculous that they're doing what they're doing. I have an idea of why. To me, they're just afraid they're not going to get enough money in the collection plate. And if you notice, they go around collecting, picking up people like the elderly who is vulnerable and is listening to what they say.
The poorest of the poor do not have cars or other ways to get to church. So this church has 26 buses, and they go and they pick up their congregation all throughout the Baton Rouge general metropolitan area. And we don't believe the governor's order is legal because both the federal constitution and the state constitution protect our right of free exercise and our right to peacefully assemble for that purpose. As far as we know, we don't have any reported cases. We expect that some of our congregation will eventually get it, just like the rest of the country, and we will deal with it when it comes. I mean, we don't have an invisible shield that protects us.
Well, that's all you got to do is trust the Lord. If you trust the Lord, people in the Bible have been healed.
I preach we have nothing to fear but fear itself. We had an emotional time, had water baptisms, and a lot of people saved today.
Virus feeds on fear. I don't have fear. I have faith.
I'm not scared of this virus. When it's my time, it's my time.
If you're scared to die, everybody want to go to heaven, but don't nobody want to die. When my day come, I ain't mad with the world.
Just into our newsroom, an elderly member of that same church, Life Tabernacle, has died. The coroner's report says the man died from the coronavirus, but the church pastor called the medical examiner's report a flat-out lie, claiming the man died from another medical condition.
Hashtag Pastor Spell Stimulus Challenge. 3 rules. Number 1, April the 19th, 2020. It begins. Rule number 2, donate your stimulus money. Rule number 3, donate it to evangelists, North American evangelists who haven't had an offering in a month, missionaries who haven't had an offering in a month, music ministers who haven't had an offering in a month. I'm donating my entire stimulus, $1,200. My wife is donating her stimulus, $1,200. My son is donating his stimulus, $600. Hashtag Pastor Spell Stimulus Challenge. If you don't have a church, give through my website, www.ltcbr.com, Larry Tango Charlie Baton Rouge.com. I'm here on the Mississippi River. I'm here at Red Stick, Baton Rouge. Hashtag Pastor Spell Stimulus Challenge.
We are following developing news tonight. A member of Pastor Tony Spell's congregation has died from complications related to COVID-19. NBC Local 33's Abby Rocha joins us live tonight in Central with the details. Abby.
Thanks, Carly. The East Baton Rouge coroner's office has listed a member of Pastor Tony Spell's congregation as having died just last night from complications of COVID-19. Now, despite this report, Spell says Harold Orillion died of early onset Parkinson's and, quote, a broken heart. Spell says Orillion did not have COVID-19 and he did not have any proof of these claims. The coroner's report, which listed his name and cause of death, was released to us at BR Proud through a public information request. But it was Pastor Spell who confirmed the man listed on that request was in fact one of his own parishioners. Central Police Chief Roger Corcoran told us while this is tragic news, it isn't really surprising and has been the concern from the beginning.
All along we've worried about the people getting sick. Well, the investigation's ongoing and it's going to continue to go on throughout this time. Been working with the district attorney and trying to keep it going and seeing what we're going to do for court.
Now, Corcoran did indicate to me that this death could potentially affect Pastor Spell's charges, but like he said, this investigation is ongoing and Pastor Spell is being actively monitored. Live in Central, Abby Rocha, NBC Local 33 News.
The need to disinfect while staying safe is having a big impact on many local cleaning companies. NBC Local 33's Crystal Whitman has that story.
Cleaning products aren't staying on the shelves long these days as everyone works to keep their homes free of germs.
For those who make a living cleaning, the coronavirus has led to different outcomes.
With losing some of our recurring customers throughout this time, it has dropped a little bit. We are making up some of it by cleaning big office spaces.
Two maids and a mop manager Lauren Johnson says now their company's cleaning process is nothing ordinary.
We had to order a disinfectant. It is a hospital grade disinfectant that's approved by the CDC to kill coronavirus. So my girls have had to add that to all of their cleanings.
The company has also had a number of proactive policies in place to guard themselves against any health risk.
We have a designated team that's cleaning COVID houses from people that have tested positive and they've been in the hospital, so we're going to clean it before they come home. So I have a designated team that has suits and shoe covers and special masks.
Crystal Whitman, NBC Local 33 News.
You have to get past the labels and actually look at the orders that are underneath them, and then you actually have to look at the activity that's going on.
If Alaska, as an example, doesn't have a problem, it's awfully tough to say, close it down.
Hi, I'm Steve Hassan. I'm a former cult member, a mental health professional, cult expert, and I teach about brainwashing and help people to recover. I'm offended by Pastor Tony Spell and all the other religious leaders that are saying things like ignore the scientists, ignore public health, ignore the health of your own parishioners.
What would you say if in the future one of your parishioners did die of coronavirus having come to one of your services? Would you say feel like you have blood in your hands or not?
No, like any pure religious person, death looks to them like a welcome friend.
Death is a welcome friend.
True Christians do not mind dying. They fear living in fear.
It's all about fear. Cult leaders want to program fear in. That's a complete all or nothing.
The only vent that they have to their emotion is coming to the house of God and worshiping, like free people.
Yeah, you're free if you go to the church, and if you stay home and live, you're not free.
In 1 month's time, if one of your parishioners has died of coronavirus, what do you have to say to their family who's watching it right now?
I have to say that they died like free people fighting for their convictions.
They died completely unnecessarily.
They say everybody's going to get it. Then if everybody's going to get it, then let's get on with life.
Yeah, so it's Darwinism, basically. Wipe out everybody whose immune system can't handle it, and we'll just march forward. And what I see is this authoritarian, I am hearing directly from God, I will protect you from Satan. It's the last days anyway. Don't listen to them, listen to me, and everything will be fine. And that's just not okay. Many legitimate religious leaders are speaking out against this position completely in favor of life. We should be wearing masks. We should be socially distancing at least 6 feet away from one another, staying at home. and doing all that we can to help all in need.